welcome to our third episode of Saints as Friends. Today we're going to be talking about a new saint who was just canonized this year in 2025. Canonization is the process where the church officially declares that a person is a saint. The person we're talking about today is Carlo Acutis. He loves computer games, Spider-Man, and Pokemon, but above all, he loved God. Let's get started on our journey today of learning about this brand new saint. From a young age, Carlo had a special love for God. Even though his parents didn't go to Mass very often, it was Carlo who talked his parents into going to Mass with him. Carlo only lived until the age of 15, so everything I'm about to tell you was done when he was a teenage boy. Carlo also loved to pray the rosary. Do you like to pray the rosary? We have a new episode coming up where we will help you learn the mysteries of the rosary and how to pray it, just like Carlo Acutis. Carlo also had a deep love for the Eucharist. Do you know what the Eucharist is? The Eucharist is the body of Jesus. When we go to Mass, the priest blesses the bread or host and it becomes the body of Jesus for us. Carlo loved the Eucharist so much that he even made a website all about Eucharistic miracles. Do you know what Eucharistic miracles are?
A Eucharistic miracle is when a miracle happens because of the body of Jesus in the Eucharist.
Did you know that the Eucharist once stopped a tsunami? A tsunami is a gigantic wave that can destroy houses and hurt people. A gigantic wave was heading for the town of Tumaco in Colombia, but when a priest brought the Eucharist to the shore and held it up against the wave, making the sign of the cross, the wave paused in the air and went away. It was a miracle, and all the people were saved. This is just one of many miracles that have happened because of the Eucharist. Carlo also loved and took care of the poor. He would bring Tupperware and dishes filled with food out to people living on the streets. Carlo wasn't afraid to say the truth about church teaching, even when it was unpopular. Carlo's high school classmates remember Carlo giving a passionate talk about defending babies that are still in the mommy's tummy. Carlo was also known for standing up for kids at school who got bullied. He believed that everyone deserved respect and to be treated as children of God. Carlo liked computer games, but he limited his playing to no more than 2 hours per week. He would chat with his gaming buddies about the importance of going to Mass and confession. Although Carlo was a regular boy, he had an extraordinary love for Jesus that influenced every part of his life. And that's really all it takes to become a saint, to love God with all your heart and let it guide every decision you make in your life. It's not always big, heroic actions that make a saint. Oftentimes, what truly makes a saint is the heroic small choices to make every choice in honor of God. So tomorrow, when you wake up, say hello to God first. Let your greeting of love to Him be the first thing you do every day. Thank Him for the day ahead of you and ask Him to help you make good choices and become a saint. That's all for today, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the saints are your friends in heaven. Welcome to our second episode of Saints as Friends. I'm Madeline, and today I'm going to tell you all about Saint Therese of Lisieux. I cannot wait to tell you her story today because we're going to learn about her little way. You might not know what that means yet, but by the end of this story, you will. Saint Therese lived a pretty quiet life compared to some other saints. She was a very kind, caring, and compassionate person, but she didn't start out that way. Let's begin our story of Saint Therese of Lisieux. There once was a girl named Therese. Her parents were Saint Zélie and Saint Louis Martin. Hmm. We'll talk more about them in another episode. Therese was the youngest daughter in a family of 5 daughters: Marie, Pauline, Leonie, Celine, and Therese. When Therese was young, she was very emotional. She would often throw fits of despair over little things. Oh, this is the worst of days. It will never get better. What do I do? What will I do? Therese's mother once wrote, Therese flies into frightful tantrums when things don't go just right and according to her way of thinking. She rolls on the floor in desperation, like one without any hope. When Therese was 2 years old, her older sister Leonie gave her a doll dressmaking kit and a stuffed basket full of materials for making new dresses. Choose what you wish, little sister, said Leonie. Therese simply said, I choose all. She accepted the basket and all its goods. Therese never did anything halfway. For her, it was always all or nothing. Therese grew very ill as a child and struggled to get better. The doctors didn't know what to do. Then one day, Therese turned her head to a statue of the Virgin near her bed and prayed for a cure. Suddenly, Mary's face radiated kindness and love. Therese was cured. The statue has since been called Our Lady of the Smile. After her sister Pauline left to become a Carmelite nun, Therese was determined to do the same. She asked the prioress of the monastery, but was told to wait until she got older. She thought of herself as a new Joan of Arc. With courage and excitement as a 10-year-old, she'd say, I was born for glory. St. Therese even went to ask the Pope if she could enter the convent early. Please, please, oh, please let me go. I am ready. I know I am. But the Pope told her to wait. Waiting was one of Therese's greatest challenges. When she finally entered the convent, Therese began to practice what she called her little way. In little ways, she tried to be patient, kind, and loving. Do you ever have moments when you feel angry, sad, or confused? So did St. Therese, and she would try to offer these moments to Jesus, kind of like a gift for him. At the convent, one old nun complained to Therese, You move too fast. Therese slowed down. Well, come on, Sister urged. I don't feel your hand. You have let go of me, and I'm going to fall. Old Sister St. Pierre declared, I was right when I said you were too young to help me. Therese took it all and managed to smile. This was her little way of being kind. Another nun made strange clacking noises in the chapel all the time. Oh, this clacking is driving me crazy, thought Therese. As an example of her little ways, she pretended the clacking was a musical concert and offered it as a prayer to Jesus. At the age of 24, Therese became very ill. She spent her time sick in bed, writing out the story of her life. This eventually became part of her book called Story of a Soul. Her final words were, Oh my God, I love you. Whenever you feel small, unimportant, or misunderstood, turn to St. Therese. She knows how you feel. Pray for her determination and strength to keep going and love Jesus with all your heart. Sometimes when people pray to St. Therese, they ask her to send them roses. And often she sends them from heaven. Ask her for one and keep your eyes open. Saint Therese is the patron saint of missionaries, florists, pilots, and the sick. Saint Therese of Lisieux, pray for us. That's all for today, everyone. And don't forget, the saints are your friends in heaven.